Muy buenas noches y bienvenidos nuevamente a nuestra serie internacional de Tiempo de Mercadeo, que en esta oportunidad nos lleva a hablar con David Ezekiel, uno de los hombres más importantes del mercadeo de causas en el mundo entero. Esto lo haremos dentro de un momentico cuando regresemos.
Contegral. Animales contegral. No comen, se alimentan.
David, good evening and welcome to my program.
It's a pleasure to be here.
A pleasure and an honor to have you here. Let me begin by asking you, what's cost marketing? How can you define it?
Cause marketing is the business strategy of advancing your business goals as well as social goals by somehow engaging with an issue that is of concern to the public that you serve. And it is a terrific, powerful strategy that many companies find extremely useful because it not only can achieve commercial goals, it can do tremendous things for the esprit de corps within a company, as well as advance important social issues that consumers care about.
By saying that it is a strategy, does it mean that it has to be a long-term thing to do?
There's the ideal and there is the reality. Ideally, companies will embrace cause marketing as a long-term strategy. In fact, wouldn't it be great if every company thought in the long term? In reality, we have a whole spectrum from very short-term promotional programs to very long-term strategies that become a part of the DNA of the company.
What could be the difference between fundraising and cost marketing? Because so many people confused one thing with the other. They don't make any difference between fundraising and cost marketing. What may be the difference?
Well, there are a couple of ways to answer that question. It's a really good one. First of all, fundraising per se is something that must be done by a nonprofit organization in order to have the funds to survive. And so it can undertake that in many, many different ways. It can go to individuals, it can go to companies, it can go to foundations, it can engage people online, it can do that person to person.
Or events.
Or events, absolutely. Cause marketing is a form that has to involve a company because it is a form of marketing for a company, at least in the way that we use the term. And it may involve fundraising, and in fact, it may not involve fundraising. In the book that I just authored
Yes.
With Philip Kotler and Nancy Lee, we have a very long title, but for a very good reason. It's called Good Works, Marketing and Corporate Initiatives that Build a Better World and the Bottom Line. And one of the main messages of the book is that there are many ways for companies to engage with causes, to engage with issues, some of which result in fundraising and some of them don't.
Then, yeah, in the book, you present the cost marketing from 2 points of view. And about this point, each point you took 3 types of work that can be done under a social cost marketing program. What are they?
The book chops up the onion in a couple of different ways.
Yes.
It looks first at programs that are designed to really advance marketing goals, commercial goals. And then it also looks at types that are designed on a more corporate level, not as closely tied to the sales of their products and services. Within the marketing group,
Yeah, let's talk about the first one.
we have cause-related marketing,
Uh-huh.
and that is the type of program in which a company says, if you do this, we will give that. If you buy this product, we will make a contribution to a worthy cause. But sometimes it may be, if you like us on Facebook, we will make a contribution. If you redeem a coupon, we will make a contribution. There are many different triggers that companies have come to use.
Before that, why don't we make clear what the cause is? Because it could be a political issue. I mean, to get some behavior of the people, politically speaking, or socially speaking. Doesn't have to be charitable things, the only thing that cause marketing is looking for.
That may be the case. In the US, where I'm most familiar, most cause marketing relates to charitable endeavors, but I think maybe along the lines of what you're addressing, some of it, and most traditionally, it is a contribution to a nonprofit organization doing particular work, but sometimes a company will embrace a cause per se, may even create its own foundation, and may distribute money to a variety of groups. Apropos of what you were talking about, there are also campaigns that have nothing to do with contributions, like corporate social marketing. Corporate social marketing, the goal is to be associated with positive changes in behavior. A wonderful example, an insurance company in an area in which there are often wildfires that destroy homes. It could say, buy our insurance, this would be a cause-related marketing program, buy our insurance, and every time you do, we will make a contribution to buy a new fire truck to stop the fires. Or it could say, we are the company that cares about keeping your house from burning down, so we want to teach, we are going to support efforts to teach you how to fireproof your house, to make behavior changes like clearing the brush around your house that will stop you from being a victim of this terrible problem. That would be corporate social marketing, where the goal is to change behavior and be associated with doing those things. The last type of program would be called cause promotion. And there, the goal is to make people aware or to get them involved in supporting a cause. It could be a program that says, hey, we are a company that believes that we should be saving wildlife, and we think you do too. Why not give to the National Wildlife Federation? Or we want you to know that we are a proud sponsor of the American Lung Association walk. Why don't you join us and participate in that program? A lot of different types of communication that cast a halo on the company for being associated with the cause, and that get people involved or interested in supporting it, but not necessarily tied to a corporate contribution to the cause.
David, let's take a break and we go to a commercial break, okay? And we'll be right back. Vamos a una tanda de comerciales y ya estamos de nuevo con ustedes. Ya regresamos. David, do those things have to do with the core business, or could they be related to something else? Nothing to do with the core business.
In an advisory role, if I was speaking with a company, advising them on what to do, I think it absolutely makes sense for it to be aligned with the core of the business. Over the history of cause marketing, there have been campaigns that have not. There used to be what was referred to as the CEO wife syndrome, which was that the CEO's wife loved the opera. And because of that, that company, which might have made carburetors, became a supporter of the fine arts, even though there was no connection, because the choice was being made for the wrong reason. Nowadays, best practice is to really try to align your cause focus with something that is clearly relatable to your business. Now, that could be what you sell. It could be where you're located. It could be the demographics and the issues that are of concern to the types of people who you serve. But there should be what I call the 3-second rule. Somebody should, in 3 seconds, be able to at least understand why are they doing this, so that your communications challenge is not so great. If they have to spend a few minutes just figuring out why AYZ company is connecting with this cause, then you've really made your job a lot harder.
What's the impact or the effect of social causes like those on marketing?
Well, if a company goes through the proper steps of really analyzing what they want to achieve and determining a really strong strategy and having the resources to achieve it, and then executes beautifully, then a cause marketing program can be a truly effective mover of their business. If they do a subpar job of anywhere along the line, just as if they were doing sports marketing or arts marketing or entertainment marketing, it won't be effective. But time and again, we see that the really well-done programs can be just as effective because they tie into to the emotions and the concerns of consumers out in the marketplace.
Can you measure that in such a way as an ROI metric or anything you can, show your stockholders or that it is having, a good impact on the market and something
Yes.
like that?
Absolutely, and it's why I'm beating this drum about being serious about the way that you do it.
I love it. Go ahead.
Because if you go into it with the attitude, this is a nice thing to do, which it can be.
Yeah,
But
just
if-
to say it's a nice thing to do.
Right, there are a lot of nice things to do. But if that's the driving force, and if you don't take it just as seriously as any other important marketing program that you're taking on, then you may never even have established an objective that you can measure against. And then at the end of the day, you'll go, well, we felt really good about it, but it didn't do anything. I guess cost marketing doesn't work. The problem is that you made a very vague, not very strategic, poorly conceived and executed program that of course it didn't deliver because it wasn't ever designed to get you to that place. So it's very, very important. But those programs that are well designed in many different industries I can point to have ROIs that have turned people who might have even been skeptical about this form of marketing into believers.
These type of programs require a lot of communication, a lot of advertising, a lot of not only advertising, but marketing communications. Doesn't that involve a risk of telling people, hey, we are trying to work on a cost marketing program, and doesn't that involve a risk of getting apart from the core business?
There's a lot of famous research in the field of cause marketing that is quoted all the time. The first people to ask this question, a company up in Boston called it Cone Communications. And the question they would ask of consumers is, price and quality being similar, would you switch to a brand that supports a cause that you believe in? And the answer overwhelmingly and increasingly over
Yeah,
the
you
years
say that in your book. I remember that.
has been yes. We're up to the last survey, which was 94%. But it's a question one has to analyze carefully, because doing cause marketing does not relieve you of the responsibility of managing your business professionally.
Absolutely.
You have to have a competitive product. You have to have a well-priced product relative to the competition.
And you have to advertise it.
You have to make people aware of it. You've got to have distribution. You've got to do all of the other P's that we talk about in marketing. And then having the P that is now being referred to as purpose can take you over the goal line, can make you more competitive. But doing it in and of itself, in fact, there are many small companies that have their hearts really in the right place. They're started by idealistic people who want to build a company where cause is at the very center. And it's a wonderful aspect of a business. But if you are in the candy business and your candy doesn't taste very good, and it's twice as
You'll be out of
expensive, and you can only get it if you come by my house, then it doesn't matter that it's giving $1 for every bar that you buy. It's not going to be a success. All of the pieces have to be there, but in an era in which it's hard to stand out, in an era when many products are commoditized, companies are hungry for a way to stand out and to build a relationship with the consumer. that's where a cause marketing campaign can make a really big difference.
David, we'll go to another commercial break and we are going to be right back, okay? Vamos a ir entonces a otra tanda de comerciales y ya volvemos. Ya estamos con ustedes.
Don't do anything that is just a nice to do. They do it because they believe it works. Some years ago, starting in Europe, some marketing managers got the idea perhaps there could be a cause-related theme that we could embrace that would help us sell more Pampers diapers. And they experimented over time, and they found in quantitative research and in qualitative research that they were onto something. And they tell a wonderful story in a case study that's been presented on Pampers of a focus group that was conducted with English mothers. And they were presenting them all sorts of contributions, ideas, cause-related marketing ideas. And the moms were generally saying, I don't know. I mean, you know, is that money ever really going to go to somebody? I see these offers all the time. And then they made the idea, how would you react if every time you bought a package of Pampers, a contribution was made that would vaccinate a mother or child in need? And all of a sudden, the whole tenor of the conversation changed. And the mom said, oh my God, that's so beautiful. I would know that I'm really helping a particular person somewhere. That became the one pack equals one vaccine program, which across numerous countries all around the world has had a magnificent impact on Pampers sales at the times at which it is promoted, and has resulted in hundreds of millions of vaccinations against maternal neonatal tetanus administered by the UNICEF, that has in a few countries eradicated this disease of tetanus, which is often passed from mother to child during birth. So that's an example of a program where they really did their homework. They found the offer that really made sense. They found a commercial concept that moved their business, and they really made a difference in the world in terms of helping to fight a true challenge. It's a great example of ROI as well as social impact.
That's a very beautiful example about consumer goods, but what about industrial marketing?
Industrial marketing is a different situation. In most cases, the goal when cause concept are used within business-to-business industrial type companies is more oriented towards either the employees in terms.
That's the second part of the program. I mean,
Yes.
the second part.
Yeah, or the idea of reaching out and building bonds with customers, but customers being other businesses that you're trying to develop stronger relationships with. So it is absolutely doable, but it's business-to-business marketing, and it's got different goals and strategies.
There is also something to be said about cost marketing working cost marketing. A hospital could work on a cost marketing basis, not only for the hospital, but just like we are talking.
Well, so from our definition, what we have focused on in our book is how corporations can use these techniques. However, these same concepts certainly are applicable to various kinds of institutions, whether it be a government institution, a medical institution itself. There's a tremendous amount of learning that's going on between the sectors.
One final question for this program. Is there a difference between advertising and promotional activities when you're working on a cost marketing basis?
The same rules apply when you're talking in a cause marketing campaign. There is traditional advertising, and there is consumer promotion and other types of promotional activity, and then there's usually what occurs, which is a whole blending of all of those types.
That's good to know because, when we talk about promotions, many people think of promotions as reduction, price reduction.
Promociones.
Right,
Yes.
right, yeah. Because you were in Mexico and you know what promociones means in
Yes.
Spanish.
Right. Yeah. So the way I'm using it is in terms of all of the different types.
The right thing to do. That's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, but in Spanish, when we talk about promociones, people think of, price reduction systems, discounts.
Yes, one hopes that cause marketing is a way of strengthening your brand, so you may have to rely a little bit less on cause promotion, on price promotion. In fact, there's a great example, if we have time, in the United States, the car company Subaru. They have a very sophisticated marketing endeavor. They're a very small player, so they very much target market. And they have determined that the types of people who buy Subarus are often the kinds of people who are passionate about certain causes. At the end of the year, for the last, I think, 5 or 6 years.
Why don't we do this? Let's keep that to start the next program.
Excellent.
And then we will have everybody waiting to see us next week.
Very good.
All
See
right.
you then.
Oh, thank you, David. Bueno, pues entonces por hoy lo dejamos aquí. Va esperando que David nos responda termine de comentarnos lo que nos está comentando la próxima semana. Los esperamos entonces y por el momento les damos las gracias y les deseamos una feliz noche.
Plaza Mayor.